What's up, everyone? I hope everybody enjoyed the holiday season. Happy New Year, everyone. This is Loro. This is Ben Kurse. Today on Loro and Friends, this show was converted to a weekly pick show, to a Patriots show. So it has been converted to a Patriots show since this year and will continue to do so moving forward. That's what we have for you. And with me today is Ben Kurse. As last week, the Patriots lost to the Bills in disappointing fashion. And the Patriots look to bounce back and try to get a win over the Jags. They can clinch a playoff berth with a win and a Miami Dolphins loss. That's the scenario right there. But if they want to clinch the AFC East, Buffalo's going to have to lose 2 in a row, which is probably unlikely, though. And Ben, Happy New Year to you, my friend.
Thanks, Laura. Happy New Year. For those that are joining, if anybody, I'm coming to you live from Florida as I'm currently on vacation, but that does not stop me from doing the shows with you, Laura. So good to be here. Happy 2022 to you, and wish you the best of luck with everything moving forward. Everybody that is joining, same for you guys. Definitely myself looking forward to hopefully some exciting things for this whole year to come, and more of the M16. Looking forward to having a great year with you and the rest of the team.
You mean the MI6 team?
MI6 team, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. In terms of this past game, though, as you were saying, the Bills-Patriots game, we talked a little about it last show, which was now last year. It was probably one of the worst Patriot games out there. 33-21, disappointing final. But Patriots did not deserve this game at all. 28-20 in terms of first downs. The biggest thing was the Bills converted 50% of their third down efficiency. The Patriots only 1 of 10 from third downs, which Kendrick Bourne was actually saying this week that one of the biggest flaws that they've had the last couple of weeks is they haven't gone into this third and shorts to basically make themselves in good succession for first downs, which they did pretty good in their 7-game winning streak. Another big thing, too, is Josh Allen was an absolute monster in this game. Threw for 314 yards, 30 for 47 for 3 touchdowns, no picks. Isaiah McKenzie was the biggest receiver for this game. Miles Brent had a really rough game. This one, I'll put him as one of my downs. But McKenzie really stood up, especially with Gabe Davis and Cole Beasley out with COVID on the COVID list. And McKenzie had 11 catches for 125 yards and a score. But yeah, not a lot of good things from the Patriots in this game. They did keep it close for some of it here and there, but kind of like the Indy game, they really weren't in control of it by any chance. J.C. Jackson had a near miss pick, which I think will haunt him, but I mean, outside of that, man, it obviously wasn't well deserved for this. So hopefully they can bounce back tomorrow.
It wasn't in that sense, you know. I mean, I have to say, for me, I didn't have any players of the game in this game. The whole team looked flat out bad the whole game against the Bills. We should have just came out there, played aggressive football. Patriots should have done that, and if we would have done that, then I felt like that we would have won this game. But this team, this young Patriot team, is just hit a rookie wall. But they're going through a lot of growing pains with Mac Jones. Mac Jones hit a rookie wall. I just thought that I just felt like that this was probably one of his worst games that we've ever seen.
Yeah, and the rookie wall is going to eventually happen. It just sucked. It kind of just sucks the timing with it. I mean, you're trying to play your best football, as Bill Belichick says at this point in time, late December, especially after this team had a 7-game winning streak. You're talking last show now, of how the 7-game winning streak maybe might have been a little fraudulent, but I think that with this Patriots team, they've shown in the past that they've been in definitely a bunch of adversity situations, and they've been able to hold to the challenge. So now the Patriots have a team in Jacksonville, which about half of their team is down with COVID. Some of their big-time stars on defense. Offensively, Trevor Lawrence had a really good game last week against the Jets, but the Jets actually won that game. So I think Lawrence has a very good future ahead, and it'll be interesting to see how Mac responds after 2 kind of subpar games against really, really good team. Not saying Jacksonville is a good team and all. They're not a great team, but they're not a team that you should be taking for lightly, especially when we only have 2 more games left down the stretch here. But this obviously was a very disappointing outing for Mac in the last couple, and I think that he will respond in a big way tomorrow for the Patriots to win this game.
All right. So, anyways, with that being said here, now we'll put that game aside. So I didn't have any players of the games for the Patriots-Bills game last week. I thought that the Bills played really a good football game, but on our side, we should have shown up and played the football that we were supposed to play here. So, anyways, the Patriots are back in second place. They have one of the wild card spots still in the AFC East. Buffalo back in first. The Miami Dolphins in third, who we play next week. We'll get to talk about Belichick Flores round 2, which I'm looking forward to. And I think the Patriots and Dolphins game will be – I think next week is going to have like a lot of playoff implications.
Yeah, I mean, if the Patriots somehow lose tomorrow, I mean, it's basically for possibly their season. The following week. You obviously don't want that to happen, but regardless of the fact, if the Patriots win tomorrow, they end up getting a clinch in a playoff spot, which I think is the perfect scenario in this case. They still have something to play for, because it could determine in terms of where the seedings are, and also could determine in terms of the teams that they play. So, that obviously be a big game. I can't wait to talk about that after this game tomorrow against Jacksonville.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that on the extra point. So Mac versus Tua is next week, and I'm looking forward to that. And a lot of people were saying that Tua is not the future in Miami, and you thought he wasn't. I think he is, and I 100% believe in him. And I think this offseason for the Dolphins, what you're going to see when you see this Dolphin team next week, you're going to see that Tua is proving everybody wrong.
Well, I mean, I think my take's been a little exposed since the last time I said that. I think he is more the future than I expected. It's a lot of the talent, Parker and Waddle and Gaskin. They have a lot of good talent there. So I think that ever since kind of those trade talks kind of happened, I think that he's kind of really proven to people that he's there for the long term, and he definitely, in my words, alive. I thought that.
Are you saying that Tua is proving people that he's the Dolphins' long term? Tua's going to be a big part of the Dolphins' long-term future? Is that what you're saying?
I think so. I mean, as long as Flores is there, I think that him and Flores have a great relationship, and so that's why they're going to go with them.
All right. So, anyways, now that being said here, so now we'll talk about the Jags-Patriots game. So it's Mac Jones going up against Trevor Lawrence tomorrow. And I've called one Jags game on Colorcast when they played the Bengals, but this team was supposed to live up to its potential with Trevor Lawrence. This team was hyped up to be really, really good. But again, they have had a disappointing year. They're going to have the number 1 pick again. And it looks like that they're better off. I think they're going to be better off without Urban Meyer in the long run. But I was kind of looking forward to, is it going to be Bill Belichick versus Urban Meyer going head-to-head? Because both of them are really good friends.
Yeah, for sure. Jacksonville, let's see. Yeah, they're 2-13. It's obviously they're averaging in terms of scoring. I mean, they got 16 points or 21 points last game. They scored 16 points against Houston. Highest amount of points that they have scored for a win was 23. So, if the Patriots play their game, they score in the low to high 20s. I think that they have a good chance, especially with half of their guys in COVID. Jacksonville might give them a game for a little while, but I think the Patriots will win this game.
Was that?
I said I think the Jags might give the Patriots a little bit of a game, but I think that the Patriots might pull away. I think it could be like a 25 to or 24 to 14 type of win. I don't think it'll be a great win, but I think that they will win ugly and then see how the other teams do.
All right. So, anyways, if you look at the Jaguars, their defense is bad. Their offense is pretty good. Trevor Lawrence has had his flashes, I mean, the Jaguars are missing guys like DJ Chark, who unfortunately is out for the season. He could have been his number one receiver. Marvin Jones is not a number one. Laviska Shenault's a really, really good slot receiver. And I feel like that if they had Travis Etienne healthy, then the Jaguars' offense would have been dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, Shenault, he's had a couple games with 6 or 7 catches, but he's really good, in space, but I think the Patriots will go do a good job with him. The one guy I was worried about, who was going to be unfortunately out for the year, is James Robinson. He was going to be a really good guy to look out for. He's a good player. Marvin Jones is a decent player. He had a big game this past game, so he's definitely an eye. I would probably have J.C. Jackson cover him. I think J.C. Jackson could have a good rebound revenge game in this one. And, Jones is obviously somebody that I've always wanted the Patriots kind of look at. We'll see maybe in this offseason, if he's a free agent. But, yeah, I mean, they have some guys that they can look at. But obviously, losing Chark's huge.
Yeah, losing Chark was huge. And also, I think and anyways, with that being said here, now let's talk about the next thing we're going to talk about is how will the Patriots be able to bounce back against a really bad Jags team? Like I said before, you cannot take bad teams lightly. The Jags last week, they played the Jets, and the Jets beat them.
Yep. No, it's huge now. I mean, last 2 games, you're not taking anybody lightly. You play like the Patriots have been playing the last couple of weeks, you will lose, and that would be a huge, huge pill to swallow. Tough pill to swallow. This is kind of here for the taking now, even though the Patriots lost their last couple. They need to really win this game tomorrow, no matter how. Be good to win in really good conservative fashion. The line right now is Patriots 16.5, looks like. So, I mean, they're not really giving much of the Jags a chance to win. But if the Patriots don't go out to play their game, they could for sure lose this one. I mean, looking at the league rankings here, Jaguars average 32nd in the league in points scored per game, which is a huge margin. 32nd, only 14.5 points average per game for them. They allow 26 points. Just looking here from Yahoo Sports if you're interested. Passing yards are 25th, 23rd. Time possession, there's 31st. 35% third down efficiencies. And the only good thing that they do have is looks like interceptions they have 6, but they've lost their last 1, 2, 3, 4. They've lost their last 5. So obviously they're not really playing for anything. We'll see if they can lose their next game and make it 6 against the Pats.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I think that but anyways, with that being said, so keys to the game for the Patriots is, I mean, you got to run the ball. I think you should run the ball first because the Jaguars' pass rush isn't that great. I think the Jaguars are pretty much lined up to take Kayvon Thibodeau or maybe Evan Neal with that number 1 pick, assuming that they stay there.
Yeah, just win the clock management, honestly, in this game. And, it's obviously a huge not to turn the ball over. The biggest thing the Patriots lose is if they turn the ball over like crazy. Against bad teams, you're usually able to maybe get a turnover here and there. That might be okay. Obviously, hopefully not, but I think that the Jaguars, they lost Josh Allen for this game.
Not the Bills, Josh Allen, though.
Not the Bills, Josh Allen, but the Josh Allen on the Jags, who did a really good job on the Bills, Josh Allen, when they faced each other. He's out for this game with COVID. But there's some guys to look out for in their defense. A former Patriot, Malcolm Brown, who used to be there, he could definitely give the Patriots maybe some fits, but they don't really have a lot on their defense that really opens me in terms of guys to like look out for. So I mean, but we'll see though. I mean, anything could really happen this game. Like I said, they got to really play good from the start, which they've had a hard time with the last couple of weeks. And yeah, hopefully that we talk about a win to start up the new year, and go from there.
Yeah, I mean, and also for the defense. Bill Belichick has done a really good job with rookie quarterbacks that he's faced this year, especially with Zach Wilson. And then he's got to put together a solid game plan to put pressure on Trevor Lawrence, which I think he will. But Trevor Lawrence, you can't give him much time in the pocket because he's going to be throwing the football down the field and find his receivers. So I think for the defensive side of things, I think the Patriots the defense of the Patriots, they're going to need to put pressure on Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, the offensive line for the Jaguars, half of it's banged up with either COVID or injury. And, I think that they got to just do their job. It's really the biggest thing. And, they getting Judon and Bentley back huge from COVID. Patriots look like they're fully healthy. So, like I said, if they played to their strengths, I think that they really have a good chance to pull this game out. They just really have to play their game, start off strong, and hopefully that we're talking about a good convincing win and a playoff-bound Patriot team after a disappointing year last year not making it.
Yeah, we want to talk about that on the next Loro and Friends Patriots edition, which we want to do. And then also talk about that on the Extra Point tomorrow, because last year when we did a lot of these shows, we've talked about a lot of losses for the Patriots and how pathetic they were offensively.
Yeah, like I said, Laura, I mean, the biggest thing for the Patriots is just play their game. Start out strong and respond in the biggest way possible. They got to control the clock. The offensive line has to play really well. Give Mac time, score early. And, I think that the Patriots will win this game if they do all the things. And the turnover differential. Last couple of weeks, they've lost it or close to, and that's why they've lost a lot of these games. But, the Boston trifecta is in effect tomorrow. You got the Bruins, you got the Pats, and you got the Celtics. So I'm praying that the Bruins win during the time that the Patriots win. And then the Celtics play later and after a big win against the Suns, which they've needed because the Celtics are just getting headaches this year. That's another question, another topic for another day. But they play the Magic tomorrow, and it looks like Jason Tatum and a bunch of other guys are back. So it'd be nice to have the Boston trifecta on account while I'm still on vacation. If one of them loses, I hope it's at least not the Patriots, because that's really the team at this point that can't afford a loss. So looking forward to the game tomorrow, Loro. Excited for any type of Patriot game, but this one specifically, even though it's the Jaguars, and people thinking to myself, why are you so excited for a game against the Jaguars? Well, it's a big game, and it's at home. The fans should be rocking for the final time, at least in the regular season. We'll see if they'll get a chance if they do make the postseason for another, which I'd love to see. It'll be the first regular postseason game in a while for the Patriots without Brady, which I think would be very, very interesting to see how they would do. But for a team like for this year, that I think a lot of people were questioning about, it'd be pretty awesome to see Mac Jones in his first year get to the playoffs with Bill Belichick. So we'll see how it goes.
Yes, and then also, if you talk about it here, so the Patriots, this is their last home game of the season before they go on the road to South Florida to take on the Miami Dolphins. So basically, the Patriots are looking next week to avenge off that week 1 loss to the Dolphins in New England. That was a game that we should have had, but the Dolphins defense really kept us in check because Brian Flores really knows our game plans. And hey, you never know. Brian Flores might knock us out of the playoffs next week.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yep.
Which could happen, or if that could happen, or if it comes to a scenario like who gets the 6, who gets the 7, he could be like, oh, we know this team well. We might not want the 7 seed because he knows Bill Belichick so well. So we're gonna have to talk about why Brian Flores has Bill Belichick's number since taking over as the Miami head coach. That's kind of That's kind of an interesting question because since he took over as the Dolphins head coach, he has had Bill Belichick's number.
For sure, without a doubt.
And
Let's get
then,
to our.
well, before we get to our quick picks and all that, we
Okay,
have
yeah,
some
sure.
other news to talk about. Is that
Yeah.
Adrian Phillips has agreed to a 3-year, $14.25 million contract extension with New England. That money is guaranteed. And I'll tell you what, he deserved that contract extension. And I think that with that move, he's going to be a big part of our defense for a long time.
Yeah, AP is a big piece. That's the key cornerstone, and it was good. It was a good deal. 3 years. Really like this kid from the Chargers, and when the Patriots got him, I thought he would be doing some good things, and he's done great things. I think they also have to look at this as kind of a piece in terms of Devin McCourty's future. I love D-Mac for sure, but I think he's going to be definitely moving on. If
I
not
don't
this
think
year.
Devin McCourty's going to move on. I think Devin McCourty's going to be back next season.
Well, I'm saying if not this year, then the year after. He doesn't. I think for him, he kind of realizes that he doesn't have much left, so they want to have Phillips kind of as the next big time piece for their safety, along with Kyle Duggar. It's kind of starting the new look to rebuild type team. You also have to kind of see that Dante Hightower's almost done with his career too, so you're going to have to kind of start seeing like the younger pieces and Bill locking up some key guys for the future. And AP is obviously one that they're able to keep.
Yeah, I think Adrian Phillips is going to be a guy that I think when McCourty retires and he takes over the reins, he's going to be one of the defensive captains. I think he's going to be a really good mentor to Kyle Duggar.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Because I think Kyle Duggar's done some nice things this year. He's really had a breakout season.
Duggar's done great. He's still young. He could definitely get a hard time last year in passing situations, but running situations, he was great. This year, he's kind of done great in both. So hopefully, he can keep on doing great in his third year and keep on progressing, doing great things.
And then some news to talk about here. Matthew Judon, Juwan Bentley, Brian Hoyer, Josh Uche, and Brandon King have been all activated from the reserve COVID-19 list. I mean, I wasn't sure why Matthew Judon was on the COVID list. I was not sure if he was vaccinated or not, but with the new rules in place, they got back early.
Yeah, it's good that they're back. Specifically Judon. I think Judon's had a great year, but last week he was kind of tough for him. He was not playing to his best ability, and maybe he wasn't particularly feeling great. But everybody to get back is great. Being at full health, especially at this point in time, is a big bonus, no matter who or what's going on with this team. But Bentley could give them stuff in the running game. Judon could give them stuff in the pass rush, which has been great all year. Hoyer's obviously insurance, and we're worried if you're never good to have COVID in any part of your locker room, but specifically in the quarterback room. We saw last year with Cam Newton obviously having it, and then luckily enough that Hoyer or Stidham didn't get it. This year Hoyer got it, and knock on wood, praying that Mac won't get it down the road. They're actually asking this week Mac about it, and he was obviously kind of saying that you really only can control what you can control, which I think is great because this is obviously something you can't really control. It's either you have it, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, obviously you're fortunate. Hopefully we don't get it down the road, which I've been fortunate enough not to get COVID yet. Well, knock on wood that I hopefully don't. But yeah, it's obviously good to have a lot of reinforcements back, and hopefully that they do a good job tomorrow.
Yes, I mean, I think they'll do a good job. But the question for you is, say if the Patriots make the playoffs, and if they play the Bills for a third time, can they get revenge on the Bills if they play the Bills in the playoffs in the wild card round? Is it going to be a win for the Patriots, or will that be a loss for the Patriots?
I don't know. I mean, they've played each other twice. I'm gonna go Pats. Just because Bill Belichick and the playoffs, young coaches against Belichick. But Dermot's a great coach, but I think that Bills really obviously upset with the way that they played this past game against them. They played them again, I think, that the past week got them back. They just have to play really well offensively and start out strong. If they fall behind, it's not going to go well.
I'm just asking that because they could play the Bills. They could play the Bengals. And if they play the Bengals, is that a win for the Patriots in that they move on to play Kansas City in the divisional round? So, like, if the Patriots go on the road, play either team, the Bengals or the Bills in the playoffs, I think they can win. And then in the divisional round, say if the Chiefs are the 1 seed, if the Patriots play in Kansas City, then I don't know if we can win that game.
No, we're not. I mean, I hope I'd be wrong, but just the way that Casey's playing and their posting experience, that would be a long shot of a game that I'm saying, yeah, the Patriots are going to win. I would have to kind of just pick the win against them and make me prove them wrong for a game like that.
Yeah, so you're saying that so you think the Patriots and the Dolphins are in the playoffs?
I do. I think that the Dolphins will find a way to get in, but I do think the Patriots, my ceiling for them this year is get in the playoffs and at least win a wild card or division type of game. Anything past that for sure would just
no,
be.
Like, say here's what I would do. That if the playoff bracket's out, I would have the Patriots win their wild card game, go to the divisional round, and then to the championship game, Super Bowl, and then we win the Super Bowl. And if that happens, that could, but I mean, it'd be too much to ask Mac Jones about it, but I really think that you got to take it one step at a time with the kid.
Without doubt.
So, anyways, and now with some. All right, Ben, time for quick picks. You go ahead, pull up the schedule, and
I'll lead it this week because we did it last week, so we'll kind of flip flop who leads it each week. So, start off this week, the Jags and Patriots. Give me the Patriots.
And I got the Patriots too with you. I mean,
9-6. I should say the records too. So at 1:00 we got 9-6 Patriots taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars at 2-13. I'm gonna go with the Patriots to win.
All right, and then
the next game at 1:00 we got the 7-8 Atlanta Falcons taking on the 9-6 Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills win, Patriots lose. It basically all but guarantees the AFC is to run through Buffalo. If the Patriots win and Buffalo loses, there is a little bit of an opening for the Patriots to possibly win the division, although it's a long shot after last week. But I'm going to go with the Bills in this game. I just think that the Bills are playing with a lot of high confidence. As much as I hate to see the Bills win in this case because, just don't really like them. But, I'm going to go with the Bills.
I'm going to go with the Bills, too. I think that Atlanta is playing really hard for Arthur Smith. I think the Falcons as a team, they've hung in there. And I think that Matt Ryan deserves another shot and another year in Atlanta.
All right. Let's go to the next game. This might be the worst game of the year, of the season, maybe. The Joe Judge 4-11 New York Giants. Thankfully, since I'm away, I don't have to watch any more New York sports, at least for 1 week. That'll feel nice.
Do you have NFL Sunday ticket, though? Do you get to watch Patriots games from your home?
From my home, I don't. I used to have the Sunday ticket, but I got the Patriots games in my house, and I got all the New York sports teams.
So you said you get the Patriots games at your house still?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, because I have Channel 3 Hartford, so Hartford's basically like Boston run, so they got obviously affiliated with the Patriots and stuff. So I'm pretty happy.
So you're from that you're in between the Hartford and New York area?
I'm in the Southwest Connecticut, so like I get mostly all my region is New York City based, but one of the channels that I have is Channel 3 Hartford News. So I have Channel 2 News, which is New York, then Channel 3 News is Hartford. So I get a lot of the mainly part of Connecticut news from Hartford, station, and then I kind of get from the New York news.
Patriots.
Which is Patriots, and then I get like all of the Channel 2. I get like all the the states, or the North. They're kind of the tri-region area, so I get the New Jersey news, New York news, and Connecticut news, kind of all in that one.
But you're able to watch all Patriots games.
Yep. So the New York Giants at 4-11 will take on the 5-10 Chicago Bears.
Oh man,
it's going to be kind of a crapshoot regardless. You got Jake Fromm, and then you got Andy Dalton.
Oh man, I want to go
what?
for the Bears in this game.
I'm going to go for the Giants. There's really nothing to lose. Nobody's playing for anything. So I'm going to go with the Giants in this game. Make them go to 5-11. The Bears will drop from 5-10 to 5-11. This game should be Sunday Night Football without a doubt. Now, especially without Kirk Cousins out there in the field, this should be the game of the night. Kansas City Chiefs at 11-4 take on Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. That is a 1:00 game. That's crazy. This game should be a movie with all the weapons from the Chiefs, especially with Chelsea back, with all the weapons from the Bengals. You got Burrow along with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, C.J. Uzomah, Tyler Boyd. I mean, they just have weapons. And Joe Mixon. They have a bunch of guys left turned. You know what? I'm going to go Bengals. I'm riding with the Bengals in this game. Kansas City, they've been great. Don't get me wrong. But it's at Cincinnati. It's a 1:00 game. I'm going to go with Joe Burrow having another good week. And I think he's going to expose this defense a bit. So I'm going to go Cincinnati in this game.
And while we go I'm with you. I'm going with Cincinnati too. I just think that the Chiefs are going to need to lose one of their games, but I feel like that the Chiefs need to lose a game so that they can save all their energy for the playoffs.
Yeah, the Chiefs are playing next week against the Broncos, and I think they'll beat the Broncos. So, I'll have them finishing at 12-5. Patrick Mahomes is not losing to Drew Lock.
So, do you think the Chiefs are going to be the 1 seed in the AFC or the 2 seed?
The 1. I still have them at the 1 with 5 losses.
And then, because I'm playing Madden right now, so basically in my league, so if the Chiefs win and the Bills win, then since the Bills have the head-to-head tiebreaker with the Chiefs, then the Bills have the 1 seed. So if the Jets beat the Bills in my league with a Kansas City win, then the Chiefs have the 1, the Bills have the 2. So it's pretty much it could go either way. It pretty much is that the Jets in my league are already out of the playoffs. They're just looking to kind of ruin playoff chances or playoff spots or kind of change up the picture.
Yeah. All right. This is going to be another good game. A lot of good games actually tomorrow. So the NFL should be really exciting as we get to the crunch time. Crazy enough to think it's the second to last week of the season, which I still feel like it flew by.
18 weeks.
18 weeks.
We
got one more extra week,
which is good. I love it.
Yeah. So we got the 8-7 Miami Dolphins taking on the Titans at 10-5. It's gonna be a huge one. I think the Dolphins streak gets snapped at this point. I'm gonna go with Mike Vrabel and the Titans. You got the 2 former coaches from the Bill Belichick coaching tree, Mike Vrabel and Brian Flores. Should be a really exciting, fun matchup. Got AJ Brown is back, Bud Dupree is back from the Titans. I'm gonna give the Titans a slight edge. It should be a good game.
You know what? Without Derrick Henry, I just think that the Titans are shorthanded. And I think they're going to lose this game. I'm going with Brian Flores to win this game because I feel like that I want a little drama heading into next Sunday. Because I think that it's going to be a battle for who's going to be the 6th seed, who's going to be the 7th seed in the playoffs between the Patriots and the Dolphins. That's why I want the Dolphins to win this game. And then you play all hands on deck football next Sunday in Miami or next Saturday, depending on the schedule,
I don't know if I could take my energy for winner take all. It's a big game. But
I'm saying is that it could be a battle of the 6th and 7th seed in the AFC.
Well, I probably wouldn't be able to take my mental health, regardless of how it goes. It's going to be a crazy one. All right, the Raiders at 8-7 travel to Lucas Oil Stadium, which, by the way, good news for the Colts. And this obviously is a huge implication for the Patriots because if the Patriots win tomorrow, they just need either a Colts win or a Titans win to guarantee a playoff spot. So with Carson Wentz back with the Colts taking on the Raiders, I'm going to go with Carson Wentz and the Colts win. They are at home, and Darren Waller's out, I believe, for the Raiders with COVID. So I'm going to go with the Indianapolis Colts to win this game tomorrow against the Raiders.
I mean, I'm going with the Colts. I think that the Colts are playing really good football. The reason why I think
and Minor should be back too, which is huge.
The reason why I think that the Titans should lose is because without Derrick Henry, there's no way the Titans will win the division. Because you've got to have a healthy Derrick Henry out on the field, and it gives Tennessee the best chance to win. And Ryan Tannehill can't really carry a team on his back alone. So Jonathan Taylor's had the best year of his career, and I think that the Colts are right now playing really good football. And I think last year with the Colts having a playoff road game, I want to see them get a home playoff game with Frank Reich. That's why I want the Colts to win the last 2 games of the season, and I think they will.
Definitely so. Well, this game, it's Tom Brady's going into an old former home, Meadowlands, where he has been the king at, or if not the king at, in many other stadiums, but this one he absolutely rules and owns. He's traveling to take on the 4-11 New York Jets. Fun fact, Loro, if you have not heard, Tom Brady and Zach Wilson actually share the same birthday, and it's also the same birthday as my mother. So that seems like it's a great popular day. Give me the Bucs in this game. You got Mike Evans back. Him and Antonio Brown had a good chemistry come together last week. Rojo had a good one last week. Their defense has been playing great the last couple of weeks. I think Zach Wilson will have a day of some turnovers, and Brady might have a pick or he might have a turnover here and there. But I think that this could be a high 20s game, 27-16 type of win for the Bucs, and they continue their winning ways in this game.
I'm going with Tampa Bay. I think Tom Brady knows the Jets very well. I hate the Jets with all my heart, all my passion. And the Jets are the biggest rival to the New England Patriots, despite what the records are. The Jets, they're 4-12. They're playing hard for Robert Saleh. But I think that the Jets, they're going to finish out the season not making the playoffs. And I think that the Jets need one more year of rebuilding in 2022. So I don't see them being good for a while.
I don't either, man. I mean, they have the right coach, but they need to have a lot of talent. That's the biggest thing. They need to just have the talent. Another big game here for the NFC East. 8-7 Eagles take on the Washington football team at 6-9. Washington's coming off the absolute disaster of a game this past Sunday against the Cowboys. I mean, disaster at its max. I think that they respawn in this game and beat the Eagles.
I don't know about that. I'm on the Jalen Hurts hype train. I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles to win this game. And I say that because I think that Jalen Hurts is playing good football. He is showing people why the Eagles drafted him in the 2nd round last year, and that I think he's going to be their guy going forward. I think the Eagles have found their guy after Wentz.
That's for sure.
Don't you think Jalen Hurts has earned the right to be the Eagles' face of the franchise at quarterback?
He has a good chance. He's a great talent. Yeah, I would say yes. So the last 1:00 game should be an absolute dandy. 11-4 Rams take on the 8-7 Ravens. Ravens still kind of a decent path to possibly get in. I don't really know their odds. They really got to win this game if any type of hope. Looks like Lamar won't play for another week. He did have one practice, but he was noticeably with a limp, so I just don't think he'll play. But Tyler Huntley, who obviously had a great game against the Packers a couple weeks ago, and obviously Mark Andrews has been an absolute beast. I'm going to be Ravens here. I think the
No,
Ravens are going to have
no,
a big win.
Ravens are not winning a game without Lamar Jackson. I've said that so many times. The Ravens are such a better team with Lamar Jackson on the
Sure,
field.
but,
And
yeah.
I feel like that if I just think for me, I think the Rams are going to win this game. Why? Matthew Stafford's going to have a great game. I think the defense of the Rams is going to get to whoever the Ravens have at quarterback.
All righty. 7-8 Denver Broncos take on Justin Herbert and the Chargers. I'm going to go with the Chargers. Broncos have obviously been sliding the last couple of weeks ever since Teddy Bridgewater went down. And so, I'm going to go with the Chargers.
Going with the Chargers. You know, Isaiah Leon, like you said, he kind of likes the Denver Broncos.
Speaking of Isaiah Leon, he's 49ers. I see he'll be there in attendance because they have a home game. So it looks like he's going to be its last game at home, unless they are playing on the road in the playoffs, which could, or more than likely, will happen.
It's Trey Lance. Trey Lance is starting.
Yeah, Trey Lance is official out there. I just read a tweet from Adam Schefter. Jimmy G is unlikely to play in this game with a UCL injury. It looks like that Jimmy G's injury is week to week, so we'll see about the next 4 weeks. But Trey Lance will get a start in this game. Davis Mills had a really good game against the Chargers, but it's not consistent for my liking. So I'm going to go the Niners in this game. I think Trey Lance is actually a pretty good game in this one.
I think he does. And I'm going to go with the Niners too. I just think that Jimmy Garoppolo is streaky. And although I like him, former Patriot, I just think that he's just not a franchise quarterback in my eyes. I think the Niners are ready to build their team around Trey Lance, and it's time for the Niners to begin a new era of 49ers football next year.
All right. This might be the game of the week. There's a lot of them, but this is a really good one in the NFC. The sliding 10-5 Cardinals. I'll be taking on the 11-4 Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to go with Cowboys. They've been riding hot. Cardinals have been sliding. I'm going to go Cowboys.
I have to go with the Cardinals. I think that they need to find a way to get their season on track, and I think that the Cowboys won the division. You have nothing to play for right now at this moment. I think that I would save the Cowboys for them to get a win in Week 18, whoever they play.
The 5-10 Carolina Panthers is a game that really won't mean much. 5-10 Carolina Panthers taking on the Saints at 7-8. They'll probably have Taysom Hill back, or
Ian Book did not look good.
Ian Book.
He's just a practice squad quarterback.
I expect Taysom should be back tomorrow. But regardless, the game doesn't really mean much. Sam Darnold's going to be starting. They put him over Cam Newton this week. I'm going to go with the Saints in this game because of their defense. Panthers' offense just can't score. So I'm going to go Saints.
I'm actually going to go with the New Orleans Saints, too. I think that the Saints will find a way to keep alive in the playoff chase. And I just think that the Saints need a new quarterback at this point. I mean, Taysom Hill's good, but I kind of want somebody that I think Sean Payton could work with. I really think the Saints need to pull off the Deshaun Watson trade and get him to the bye.
Or Russell Wilson. I know you think he's staying, but I'm going to go with Russell Wilson.
No, I think Russell Wilson is staying in Seattle. You got to give him another chance.
It seems like he wants to, but I would love to see Russ.
No, Russell Wilson said this. He said that he hopes that this is not his final game in Seattle. I don't think it is. He was hurt. The Seahawks were bad. You got to find a way to rebuild that offensive line around him and make him happy. Russell Wilson needs a say in that front office thing.
All right. Well, obviously, we'll see this offseason. Speaking of Russell Wilson, his Seahawks be taking on the Lions. 12-1 for the Lions against 5-10 Seattle. Seattle's had an absolute underperforming, very frustrating type of season. We'll see what they can do in the offseason with changes, a.k.a. both Pete Carroll and Russ and a bunch of just guys to watch out for. But I'm going to go upset special here, Loro. I'm going to go with the Lions in this game.
I have to go. I'm with you. I'm going with the Lions too because
it seems like the Seahawks really just kind of, I'm not saying going through the motions, but they just lost the Bears this past game. Bears just aren't really doing much either. going to go with the Lions. Team that's playing really loose. They went down. They've been going down the wire in the last several games. They lost this game against the Falcons. They did get blown out against the Broncos, I think, the week before. But most of the games in like the last 4 or 5 games have been right there. They've either won the games or they've been right like down the wire, which kind of been their whole storyline on the season. But I'm gonna go with the Lions in this game. 12 and upset.
I'm going with the Detroit Lions too.
All right, and then we got the Sunday night football. We got the Vikings at 7-8 without Kirk Cousins, as he is unvaccinated. He tested positive. He is unvaccinated. So what that means is he cannot play in this game. Sean Mannion will get the start against the 12-3 Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to go the Packers in this game. Kirk Cousins is playing. I think, you can kind of argue, even though Kirk Cousins hasn't been great, he's definitely shown a lot of good flashes this season. He's obviously a lot better than any quarterback room that the Vikings have at the moment. I'm going to go Green Bay and the Sunday night showdown.
I'm going with Green Bay too. And I think that the Vikings probably will need to start Kellen Mond or something like that.
And the Monday Night Football game should be an absolute dandy. A rivalry between the AFC North. This also could be a big game in Steeler Nation, as Big Ben reportedly this week has said that it's not all but most likely his last game as a Pittsburgh Steeler in Heinz Field, unless they make the playoffs. But at least the regular season, it looks like it's all but official. Just want to send my cap as a Patriot fan, see what Big Ben Roethlisberger has done. If this is his final rodeo, which it looks like it will be, he's definitely fallen off quite drastically. But he's had a great run. Loved his games as a Patriot fan. Got the privilege to see him live as a Patriot fan, Big Ben Roethlisberger. And it's definitely been able to bring some hardware to Pittsburgh Steelers. So this should be a really fun game. A lot of emotion in Pittsburgh. 7-8 at Cleveland. The Cleveland Browns, they're coming off a tough loss against the Packers on Christmas Day. They're going to be traveling to take on, more than likely, Big Ben's last final regular season game at 8:15. And you know what, Loro? I'm going to go with the Browns in this game. I think that the Browns, their roster thing's a much better constructively built. I just think that the Steelers are just an absolute big mess, and they missed the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to go with the Browns too. I think they're going to spoil Roethlisberger's final home game. I'll be on the call for that Monday Night Football. So, Ben, some final thoughts here. We're in a new year. Talk about what we wish for the Patriots in 2022. So, I think our wish is that I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think that's going to happen. But can they land a number one receiver?
Patriots, yes, I do think so.
Because I think that
there'll be a lot of guys out there. And good news for Tampa Bay, as there's been a lot of Shefty news coming in with some guys, questionable and stuff like that. Looks like AB will be good to go, and Mike Evans will be good to go in a limited capacity. But against a team like the Jets, they'll have a fully good Antonio. It'll be like Carolina, I think, last week. If their defense plays up to par, they could use Evans in the red zone. I think that's kind of where they've been lacking the last couple of weeks. Use Evans' big body. I think Gronk is a big game. He always does well against the Jets. So, another good thing before Matt Corral, the Ole Miss quarterback, Lane Kiffin said that his X-ray came back negative. So great news as he is trying to have his value for the NFL draft. Prayers to him. He had obviously some injury tonight, but definitely hope that he'll be good. Yes, I do think the Patriots will get a good top tier receiver. I'm not saying if he's going to be a true bona fide one, but at least close to. A lot of good names out there.
I think the Patriots, I want them to draft Jamison Williams or John Mechie in the draft.
I do too, but I think
because I'm saying the two Alabama guys, I want them to come play with Mac Jones.
Well, either one, but I think that you want to at least get a guy that's been a veteran. I would definitely draft Mechie in your second round for sure. And then you can kind of look at the other receivers out there.
No, because Mechie's draft stock's going to drop down.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's why I think that you can pick him in the second round. But I do think, regardless if the Pats pick him or not, I mean, look at, there's a bunch of guys out there in terms of like Allen Robinson, Chris Godwin.
Somehow the Patriots need to find a way to get rid of N'Keal Harry.
That'll be a huge, get rid of N'Keal Harry and his contract. People say, oh, well, he can block. The guy's just never been able to show up. It's disappointing because I've given him a lot of chances.
I like Myers, Bourne, and Henry, good receivers for our team, but I feel like that we could be better than that. Do you think Aguilar fits that offense too?
So Aguilar is a best number 3 and number 2. They need a game-breaking start. They need somebody basically for the offense to kind of send the outside, oh, like, we got to worry about this guy. Because the last couple of weeks specifically, right, we've been kind of seeing a lot of teams playing man-on-man, Buffalo and Indy, they played a lot of man, played some zone here and there, but you kind of take away Myers as your best bet. They need a big body on the outside. I'm looking at some guys here. I think a guy like a Will Fuller, obviously Devonta Adams and Chris Godwin, Allen Robinson, those are obviously going to get big hefty price tags. But a guy like AJ Green wouldn't be a great option, especially because he's back in his career. But he wouldn't cost you a whole lot. Juju Smith-Schuster, I think, would be very, very fascinating. I really like Juju, and I think that he definitely can give the Patriots a really good interest in. Dan Amendola wouldn't be obviously number 1, but he's a free agent. But he would be interesting, maybe as a number 3 or 2. Definitely was a system. Maybe bring back Damiere Byrd, but he wouldn't be a number 1. He definitely has some game breaking potential.
I mean Kendrick Bourne should stay. I mean, I like how.
He will.
And Aguilar too.
My guy, Loro.
And Aguilar and
Christian Kirk. That's who I really want the Patriots to get.
Is he a free agent at the end of the season?
Yep, he's a free agent. I think he'd be a great start. Michael Gallup is my number 1 option that I'm looking on the outside. I think Michael Gallup could be a very, very good Patriot.
Yeah, I think so too. But the reason why I want the Patriots to draft an Alabama receiver is because I want that big 3 of Alabama on offense of Mac Jones, Damian Harris, and whoever we draft a receiver, if it's Jameson Williams or if it's John Mechie.
I mean, like I said, man, I would love Mechie. I mean, I think you can really start building your future with the receiving position between Mechie and Myers.
No, the reason why I want the Patriots to draft an Alabama receiver, look at the examples here. Joe Burrow with Jamar Chase in Cincy. Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Waddle in Miami.
Yep.
Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith in Philly. And then I want a receiver in Alabama to join the Patriots to reunite with Mac Jones.
That'd be great, man. Can't wait. Well, we'll have to say. All right.
All right. So, anyways,
Ben. Get into the 1 a.m. mark here. 10 o'clock your time. But yeah, great show tonight. Just quickly my final thoughts before we get to yours. Like I said, Patriots have a big game now officially today my time. Can't go through another rough heartbreak watching this game, especially against a team that you really should be able to beat. Should just be a really fun day of football. The weather's just obviously been great. Trying to enjoy the rest of my vacation, and hopefully 2022 continues to be a really good year for us and kind of their shows and stuff like that. And we will have our next one tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow on the Extra Point. Join Ben and I tomorrow for the Extra Point, and also other people from our MI6 crew.
Definitely so, man. Can't wait.